Good evening, everyone. My name is Andrew Burrs. I'm the Executive Director of the Joint Water and Sewer Commission. Thank you for attending our town hall tonight. We had this meeting last night over on St. Simon's Island. Tonight we are here at our office in our commissioners' meeting room. Come down and join us. Due to COVID restrictions, we're going to do this in short sessions, 15-minute presentation with 15 minutes for questions and answers afterwards. You can be here in person to ask your questions, or we have people manning our social media pages to respond to questions as they come in there as well. Tonight we have with us Mayor Cornell Harvey and Commissioner Bob Duncan from our board. Thank you for being here. And we have a couple of commissioners that are watching online as well. All right, so this year we're required to have these to talk about our budgets and our rates, but anytime we get together, we like talking about our ongoing projects and customer service efforts so that we can keep our customers informed. On our construction projects, I want to highlight these are already completed or under construction. We've just finished up the Mainland smoke testing project and the State Route 99 water main extension project. We'll go over those shortly. The Ridgewood water production facility is a new drinking water well and treatment facility that is going in the North Mainland area. Cipp CIPP. CIPP is cured in place pipe. It's a trenchless pipe rehab technology that we're utilizing in a couple of areas, so we'll talk about that project and then talk about some of the results on our North Mainland Phase 2 SPLOS project that is winding down. Here we have some pictures from our Mainland smoke testing project. About a year and a half ago, we did this on St. Simon's Island. We completed and got the final report back on the smoke testing on the Mainland in February. When you smoke test, you inject an inert mist into the line. It's not actually smoke, but as you can see from the photographs, it looks a lot like smoke. Anywhere smoke exits our system is a location that rainwater can get in the system. And anywhere rainwater gets in the system, we have to then pump and treat that water, and it increases our operating costs, so we want to keep as much of that out as we can. Well, we run into both public and private issues when we do this. On the left, this is an example of a public issue. That is a manhole that's in the grass there, a public manhole that is leaking. There's a lot of water that could get in given the amount of smoke that's coming out there. So we'll add that to our manhole rehab list for next year and get that taken care of. On the right, that's an example of a private issue. That's a parking lot behind a commercial building. We've got a lot of non-permeable surfaces and a clean-out cap that's missing, so you end up with a significant amount of water getting in there. So in this private customer situation, we will send a letter out requesting they put that clean-out cap back on there. The clean-out cap's very inexpensive and get that taken care of, but it can take a lot of water out of our system. Here we have the State Route 99 project. If you'll look at the left-hand picture where the pipe is being installed, there's a date stamp down there on the bottom right from 2017. So this is a very long-term project that we had. This project was actually transferred to us by Glynn County when it was under engineering at our creation. So it's been under construction for several years now. We've had some delays due to some DOT issues and some utility conflicts. However, I'm pleased to report we finished that up in May. So that project is complete. That's providing additional water capacity for some residential areas on Highway 99, as well as the Georgia Pacific plant that is up there, should that open back up. Here we have some photos from our Ridgewood water production facility. On the left is Ridgewood before the project started. The Ridgewood area is up in the Perry Lane, Kate Road area. That facility is what's known as a fire well. It's a well that we can pump water out of, but does not have full-time treatment capacity. However, in an event that we have high usage situation like a fire, we can turn this well on to provide additional volume and pressure to the system. We're converting that fire well into a production well for full-time drinking water treatment. On the right is a picture of a pre-stressed ground storage tank that is going in at that facility that will be there to hold water that is treated until it is pumped into the system. You can kind of see the picture there. There's some red numbers going down the center of that tank. There's some 10s and 15s on there. That's the number of metal bands that get wrapped around that tank to pre-stress it so that once it gets filled with water and the pressures get in there, it doesn't start causing cracking in the tank. So we'll have that finished up shortly, and then we're going to convert the well and add the treatment capacity with some aeration and chemical treatment for that drinking water, so we'll have an additional source to supply the North Mainland area. Here we have some pictures from the Cipp CIPP. Remember, CIPP is cured in place piping. On the right is an example of the rig. You see a long blue hose going in there and a white sock that's being pulled in. Basically, when you CIPP, you take that sock and it's impregnated with a resin that then gets inverted, and as water is put into the line, clean water is put into the line to expand it out. it then presses up against the interior of the host pipe that's already in the ground, and you get a brand new plastic pipe out of this that is entirely structural and does not rely on the host pipe for any structural integrity. On the left, you see our project manager, Jason Vo. He's been with us about a year now. He's helping direct some traffic while they were out there pre-cleaning the lines. Before you do the CIPP work, you have to come in and get everything nice and clean so that you don't have divots in your pipe once that sock expands. So here's some examples of pre and post CIPP on the North Mainland SPLOST project. On the left, you got a reinforced concrete pipe, 30-inch concrete pipe that's on Whitlock. Last year, we had a sinkhole out there, had to do an emergency repair. We knew that we had to get out there, so we went out there and did some lining. You can see the aggregate is showing the rocks that are in the concrete there. Naturally, if you had a concrete pad in your backyard, you wouldn't want to see the rocks poking out the top of it. So we don't want to see that either. And then there's some brown lines in there. That is the rebar that has eroded away, so there's no reinforcement in the pipe shell, so that's a very fragile state. On the right, that's what it looks like after we've put this liner in there and filled it with water and created that pipe. So you have a brand new pipe in there, just like new, and then you don't have to worry about digging up the streets and repaving or anything like that. It's all done trenchlessly, it's quicker, and you end up disturbing the citizens less while we're doing it. Moving on to our fiscal year 21 budget, our overall budget for the next year is $33.4 million. We are not adjusting our rates once again for the second consecutive year, so your bill will not change for the next 12 months. We are able to increase our capital budget to $7.1 million, and capital budgets are where we do capital projects out of. So we'll get into the amount of projects we're able to do now compared to what we used to in a few minutes. We were able to do that because we saw some significant operating expense decreases in the past 12 months. We paid off some of our past debt, and that allowed us to decrease expenses of almost $600,000. We've changed the way we're handling our biosolids. We were paying a third-party provider to haul that to the landfill for us. We have purchased that equipment to haul ourselves and are self-performing now, and that has saved us through the first 10 months of the fiscal year $350,000, and we project that to continue forward into the next year. We talked about manhole rehab with the smoke testing results earlier. Previously, we were doing manhole rehab. We'd have 2 or 3 at a time that we'd go out and get somebody to come in. We'd come in and get a cementitious liner sprayed on the inside to provide structural integrity to the manhole. Well, we started lumping those together, doing some planning and getting some inspections out in front, and now we put 50 or 60 out at one time, and that gets our unit costs down, so that reduced our expenses on manhole rehab by $250,000 for the past 12 months. And we're fixing to go out for another set of 60 here in the next month. We have some exciting news from customer service. If you attended our meeting on the island last year at this time, we had some spirited discussion concerning the difficulty folks had paying us. They wanted to do some automatic bill pay, auto draft out of their account. I'm happy to say that we have got that offering available for you now. It will automatically draft that amount out of your bank account every month for whatever the amount of your bill is, should you so choose. We also do offer online payments, and we have waived the fee for that. So if you want to go online and use your debit or credit card, you can do that and pay your bill, and there is no processing fee that is charged at this time. We now offer paperless billing, so that if you don't want to get a paper bill mailed to you each month, you can contact our customer service representatives, and they can get you set up on paperless billing as early as next month if you would rather have that bill emailed to you. We also now offer our applications for starting service entirely online. You don't have to come down here at all because you can fill your application out online, and since we've waived the fees, you can pay for all your account charges online, so you don't have to come see us to actually start an application. That's particularly helpful for folks that are moving in from out of town. You know, they're moving in and they're going to have a moving truck here at noon, and they're going to get here at 11:45. They really don't necessarily want to be here dealing with us at 11:45 trying to get the water turned on. And also, you're no longer required to be present for your water to be turned on. We had a lot of concerns with people not wanting to be present while we turn the water on, and we'd give you a window of a couple hours when we would be there. We've got that taken care of. You can sign a form, and we'll go out there and turn your water on in advance so that when you get there to your new location, we are more than ready to serve you. We talked about our capital projects. These are some pictures. These maps show where we have either existing or planned capital projects for the next 12 months. The map on the left, the green stars, are sewer projects. The map on the right, blue stars, are water projects. You can see they're spread out throughout the county pretty well. We've got sewer and water projects in the North Mainland, in the City District, and on the island. We're hitting a lot of projects. I'm not going to go through that entire list, but remember that $7.1 million worth of capital projects. We're also supplementing that with the SPLOST funds that we're collecting. So we used to, about 4 years ago, we were getting $3 to $3.5 million a year in capital projects. So that's more than doubled, and that allows us to get a whole lot more projects done, which allows us to have a more significant impact on the state of our system. I do want to point out a couple of projects on the sewer side. We're out for engineering right now for the Arco water and sewer extension and community road sewer extension projects. The Arco area is an area of town residential that is just outside of the city limits that has never had water and sewer service provided to it. The residents there have been very keen on getting our service. So we're out for engineering right now so that we can go out for construction for that right after the first of the year and move forward with that project. The community road area is a commercial corridor in town that is, again, outside the city limits and never got the actual sewer service provided to them for those businesses, and they're on septic tanks, and they're interested in being on our system, so we're going out for engineering for that as well. As far as the water projects, a couple of projects of note. If you look at that list, there's the term PRV on there. A PRV is a pressure reducing valve, which sounds terrible. You don't want your water pressure to be reduced. However, what this does is actually allow us to have pressure zones in our system that we can better manage the pressure. Currently, our pressure is managed across the entire system, trying to maintain consistent pressure. So if something happens, we're trying to pump a long way. By having these in place, we'll be able to have localized control of that pressure. And if there is a major need, those valves will open up and allow water to flow from the rest of the system. So we're going to install some of those on the North Mainland and on St. Simon's Island to help some of the issues so that the tanks can better control the pressure. Down at the bottom on the right, you'll see a couple of county-wide water projects. The meter replacement project we'll go into shortly, and then galvanized water main replacement project. That's a project we are self-installing. It'll be a long-term project to get this taken care of, but galvanized steel pipe, there's a lot of small 2 and 3 inch pipes in neighborhoods. That pipe is usually corroded and also brittle. You get near it with a shovel and you start having leaks. So that causes you to have poor water pressure at times. So we're going to get out there, replace that galvanized pipe, and that should definitely improve your water pressure. If your service line past your meter is galvanized, you may not see the full impact of those pressure increases until you get that replaced. However, we will certainly have more pressure available to you at your meter. And we talked about our meters. We have about 30,000 accounts that we have to change these meters out on. It's time to do that. And we're going from what's called an automatic meter reading system, which is there on the left. You see the truck that says meter reader on it. Essentially right now what we do is we drive a truck past your house once a month and we pick up a meter reading from you, a snapshot for what has occurred for the last 30 days or whatever the particular billing cycle was. We bring that back, upload it to our system, and then you get a bill. We're going to an automatic meter reading system, an AMI system that is all done wirelessly, where we can read your meter while sitting at our desk or from a computer. You can sign up for a customer portal and get that information similar to how you can get it from the power company now, down to the hour mark or even smaller if you so choose to get that data. But another fantastic thing that will occur from this is we'll get a report every day of meters that have ran for 24 hours continuously. If your meter has been running continuously for 24 hours and there's not a particular reason for your commercial enterprise to have a meter turning for 24 hours, you most likely have a leak. Well, currently you find out you have a leak when you get the sticker shock 30 days later and your bill is several $100s. We'll be able to call you that next morning and say, hey, you probably have a leak that you can go out there and get corrected. So that will be beneficial to help conserve our natural resources. So that's about a 4-year change-out project. We're going to do about 7,500 meters a year. So we'll be getting out in advance and letting the customers know which neighborhoods will get the new meters first. We're going to prioritize those that have the meters that are the oldest to get replaced as we can. And with that, trying to keep it to a shorter meeting, that's the extent of my presentation. I'll open it up for any questions. I don't believe we have any questions here at our office, but I'll turn it to Mr. Sellers to see if we have any questions on social media.
We have 3 people watching on Facebook and no questions as of yet, and 2 on YouTube with no questions.
All right. As we did last night, we intend on doing these at the 30-minute and hour mark until 8 o'clock to allow people, if they're just getting off work, to have time to get here. So we'll redo this presentation at 6:30. If you're listening online and want to come join us, we have seats available, and we'll be happy to talk to you more in person. Or you can put your questions in online, and Mr. Sellers will relay them to us. Well, thank you very much for listening to us and for your business. Good evening. My name is Andrew Burrs. I'm the Executive Director here at the Joint Water and Sewer Commission. This is our annual town hall meeting. We're down here at our office tonight in the commission room. Last night we had this meeting on St. Simon's Island at the casino. Here with us tonight we have Mayor Cornell Harvey and Commissioner Bob Duncan from our board, and we have a couple of other commissioners who are watching us online. We have plenty of seats available if people want to come down and join us, or you can watch us on our social media accounts and ask questions through there. With the COVID restrictions that we have going on, we're doing shorter meetings and multiple occurrences of it this year. So this will be about a 15-minute presentation, and then we'll have about 15 minutes for any questions, and then we'll redo this at 7 o'clock. So we're required to have these to talk about our budget and our rates, but anytime we have a public meeting, we like talking about our ongoing construction projects and any customer service news that we have. So in our construction project side, we've got a few projects that are either recently wrapped up or currently under construction that we wanted to update you on. The Mainland smoke testing project and State Route 99 water main extension project have both recently been completed. The Ridgewood water production facility is a new drinking water well that is being fitted up on Kate Road and Perry Lane Road area. CPALM CIPP. CIPP is cured in place piping. We'll go over what that process is and what we're doing out in CPALMs now. And then the SPLOST North Mainland Phase 2 was a CIPP project, and we can show you some of the results we got on that project. Here we have some photos from the Mainland smoke testing project. About a year and a half ago, we went out to St. Simon's and smoke tested St. Simon's Island. We did the Mainland and got the final report back on that in February. When you smoke test, you inject an inert mist. It is not smoke, but obviously from the pictures, it looks an awful lot like smoke coming out. Anywhere smoke comes out of a manhole or a clean out, that's an area water can get in our system. Rainwater gets in our system, it is more expensive for us to have to pump all that additional water and treat that additional water, so we want to keep that out as best we can. So you end up with both public and private issues that you find in this. A public issue is something that's a utility-owned problem. So you have a manhole on the left there in the grass. It's a JWSC manhole that is obviously leaking with the amount of smoke that is coming out of it, so we'll add that one to our manhole rehab list to get it taken care of. On the right, you have an example of a private issue. That's a parking lot at a commercial enterprise there. Clean out cap is missing. You have a lot of impermeable surfaces there, so that water's going to sheet flow off of that and going to end up a lot of it in our system. So we'll send a letter out to this customer, let them know they need to replace their clean out cap. Very inexpensive replacement there, and they can keep a lot of water out of our system. Just to note, we smoke tested about 500,000 linear feet of pipe on the Mainland, and so that's just shy of 100 miles, and we found 700 defects. Though just shy, yeah, 100 miles. We found 700 defects, so that sounds like a lot of defects when you consider the amount of pipe that is. It really wasn't bad results. Our system's in pretty good shape, especially considering the age of it. All right, how we have some pictures from the State Route 99 project. On the left, you see the water pipe being installed by our contractor. You can see the date stamp down at the bottom from 2017, so this was a long-term project. We had multiple delays with DOT issues and some utility conflicts that we found when we got installing the pipe out there. But on the right, you see some new hydrants and valves that have been installed. That project wrapped up at the end of May. So that system is now providing water services to residents up on Highway 99 and also the Georgia Pacific facility that is in that area. All right, this is the Ridgewood water production facility. On the left is Ridgewood pre-project occurring. That's a fire well, which means that is a well site that we can pull water from that does not have full-time treatment capacity. But in the event of a high flow situation like a fire, we can turn that well on to provide extra water capacity in the system. We're converting that to a production well, which means it will have full-time treatment capacity to make sure that we meet all the drinking water standards. Well, to do that, we had to have an area to store that treated water, so you see a ground storage tank being built at that site. That is a pre-stressed concrete tank, so there's a row of numbers in red running up the side of that tank where they'll wrap bands around there to pre-stress that tank to make sure it doesn't have any problems once it gets filled with water. We'll add the treatment capabilities at the well site there. That project should be done before the end of the year and providing additional drinking water capacity in the North Mainland area. Here we have some pictures from the CPALM CIPP project. On the left there you see our new project manager Jason Vo directing traffic while they were out there pre-cleaning the lines before they started lining them. Lining them is what we call the CIPP process. Remember, that's cured in place piping. It's a trenchless technology. They're going to inject that sock down in there. That sock has a resin on it that as it expands to the interior of the hose pipe, It ends up forming a brand new plastic pipe inside the existing structure, and we don't have to dig the road up to do this. It's a much quicker process and less onerous on the citizens that are having to deal with it. So this contractor's out there in Sea Palms doing this to several segments of line out there, getting out in advance of the Glynn County paving project out there. So you'll see our crews out there doing that. CIPP is a method of treatment that we did out on the North Mainland Phase 2 SPLOST project. So these are some pictures before and after on that 30-inch line on Whitlock that got lined. We lined about 8,000 feet of 30-inch pipe out there. That's reinforced concrete pipe before it was lined. You see basically concrete with the aggregate sticking out, the rocks that are sticking out because it has been eroded. You also see some lines in there that were the reinforcing bars that were in there that has since eroded as well. So you have no structural integrity left to that pipe. We come back and line it with this liner, and you see basically a brand new pipe there, completely structural by itself. It doesn't rely on the host pipe to provide its structure, and they estimate that to be structural for at least 50 years. You can kind of look at those pictures. There's some numbers at the top of the photos there, 88.8 and 89.2, so that's essentially the exact same point in that segment of pipe to show the before and after there. Moving on to our budget for the year, our overall budget is $33.4 million. That's essentially the exact same as it was the year before. So we're able to maintain no rate adjustments again. So you will have the exact same rates this year as you did last year and the year before that. So no changes to your bill other than your usage. We did not adjust rates and we didn't increase our budget, but we're able to increase our capital budget to $7.1 million. The capital budget is where we do projects at. And when we get to the end to talk about our project plan for the year, you'll see the number of projects we're able to do with that amount of money. We were able to do that because we had some significant decreases in our major expense line items. We paid off some of our old debt, and that decreased our expenses by almost $600,000. We've started self-performing our biosolids disposal. We take that to the landfill ourselves rather than allowing a third-party hauler to do that for us. And through the first 10 months of this fiscal year, we've saved $350,000 by doing that, and we project that to continue forward into the next year. We talked about the smoke test earlier with the manhole that need rehabbed. So we have a manhole rehab list, and we bid that out, and we were able to decrease our cost on that by $250,000. Previously, we were going out 2 or 3 manholes at a time as we found them and bidding those work out, and we were getting one price. We decided to lump all of those together and bid about 55 manholes out last year and got a much lower unit cost by doing that. So you see the results there of that major decrease in cost by doing that, and we'll be doing that again here in the next month. We had some exciting news in customer service. At our meetings last year, there was a lot of discussion about difficulties paying us or perceived difficulties paying us. So people requested the ability to do automatic bill pay. So it automatically drafts money out of your account each month equivalent to your bill total. If you so choose, you can set that up. Call us down at customer service and we can get you set up on that. You can also pay online, which you've been able to do for several months now, and we've waived that fee. So you can pay online without having to pay a processing fee. Previously, there was a $275 processing fee that has since been waived, so you just pay the amount on your bill. We also now offer paperless billing. If you don't want to get a bill mailed to you each month and would rather get it via email, we can get that set up for you. Call down to customer service and they can get your next bill sent out via email. We have online applications now, so if you want to start water service at a different location than what you're currently at, or you're moving into town, you can do the entire process online. You fill out the application, you pay your account charges and your deposits, and we'll get you set up online without you ever having to come visit us unless you just want to. And then we no longer require someone to be present at the home for the water service to be turned on at a new location. You can sign a waiver, we'll go out there, turn your water on, and it'll be ready for you when you get there to move in. We talked about our projects. We have the maps here show on the left, the green stars show sewer projects that are either currently under construction or planned for the next year. The right, the blue stars are the water projects that are planned for the next year. We do have some SPLOST projects still ongoing in the sewer side there, so you'll see a little bit longer list on there. I'm not going to go through all these projects, but you can see that we're working in many areas of the county, both water and sewer projects in the city, in the North Mainland, and on St. Simon's Island. So we're targeting areas where we're having, where we need to be investing that money at right now, and we're getting through a lot of projects with that $7.1 million capital budget. 4 years ago, that number was $3 to $3.5 million a year, so we've more than doubled that, and that's allowed us to be much more effective with our capital rehab program. I want to point out a couple of projects on the sewer side. We have the Arco water and sewer extension and the community road sewer extension projects. Those are both in engineering right now. Those areas are areas just outside of the city limits that never received water or sewer service from us, and we're going to be extending those lines to them so they can tile into our system whenever they choose to. On the right, on the water side, you'll see a couple of projects down there at the bottom that have the words PRV in them. PRV is a pressure reducing valve. We are not going to reduce your pressure. What we're going to do is create pressure zones so we can better control the pressure at different areas of the county as necessary. If there's a major water event, those valves open up and interconnect the system again, but it will allow us to have better control of the pressure to eliminate some of the fluctuations you see. At the bottom of the water map, you'll see a couple of countywide projects, the meter replacement project and the galvanized water main replacement project. Galvanized water main replacement project is being self-performed by our water distribution crews. The galvanized steel water lines, you have a lot of small 2 and 3 inch water lines out there in neighborhoods. This galvanized pipe is corroded, so you have restrictions of the flow in the pipe, and also it's very brittle and you'll end up with leaks, and that decreases your available pressure at your house. So we're going out there with our crews. They're getting out in advance trying to replace this galvanized pipe with brand new plastic pipe, and that will definitely increase the water pressure to the neighborhood, at least to the meter. You may have to check on your individual service line to make sure that it's not galvanized as well. But on the meter replacement project, we have about 30,000 meters. We're going to be doing this over 4 years, so that's about 7,500 meters a year. And currently what we have is an automatic meter reading program. You see the truck there. We ride by your house once a month and get a reading for the last 30 days, and then we bill you that, and you get that result. We're going to an automatic meter reading system that is entirely wireless. It's an AMI system that we can read your meter with the click of a button from any computer that we have. We can get you your meter readings intermittently if you have questions about what has occurred while you were away. We can get that down to per hour or even shorter if you need that. And we'll also have the ability to do a leak report where every night we'll get a report of meters that have been running consistently for 24 hours. If there's not a reason that your meter should have been running for 24 hours and it has been, you most likely have a leak. So we'll be able to call you that next day and tell you you probably have a leak, instead of you finding that out when you get your bill 30 days later. So you'll be able to get on that and not waste as much water and lower your bill due to us even after the leak adjustment is completed. With the COVID restrictions, that is the end of the presentation we have tonight, trying to keep it short. We have no one here to ask us questions here at our office, but we do have people online. I was going to see if Mr. Sellers has any questions from the social media.
We have 3 viewers on Facebook and 3 on YouTube, and neither showing questions and nothing in the info email address either.
All right, no questions at this time. Again, we'll be doing this at 7 and 7:30, so if you're out there listening and want to come join us and ask questions, we do have the project maps that are larger here you can take a look at if you have some more questions, or you can certainly submit those questions via the info@bgjwsc.org email address or through our social media pages, and we'll be happy to answer them. Thank you for your attendance. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Andrew Burrs. I'm the Executive Director here at the Joint Water and Sewer Commission, and this is our annual Town Hall meeting. We're holding this meeting tonight down at our main office here in our Commission chambers. Come and join us. We'll be doing this for another hour. You can also listen in online and submit questions via our social media accounts or via info@bgjwsc.org. We have two of our commissioners in attendance tonight, Mayor Cornell Harvey and Commissioner Bob Duncan. Thank them for being in attendance here tonight. With the COVID restrictions, we're doing short presentations and doing it multiple times for people as they can come and leave as they want to. This will be about a 15-minute presentation, and then we'll allow 15 minutes for any questions. So we're required to have these meetings to talk about our budget and our rates for the upcoming year, but we certainly want to mention our ongoing construction projects when we get together and a customer service update to talk about the ways you can interact with us. Some recent construction projects that are either wrapped up or underway. We have the Mainland smoke testing and State Route 99 water main extension projects. Both of those have been completed within the last 6 months. The Ridgewood water production facility is a new drinking water treatment facility up in the North Mainland area. The CPOM CIPP project, CIPP is cured in place piping. It is a trenchless pipe rehab technology that we'll go over what we're doing in CPOMs now. And it's the same technology we used on the SPLOST North Mainland Phase 2 project, and we'll show you some of the results we got with that CIPP technology. Here we have some pictures from our Mainland smoke testing project. About 18 months ago, we went out and did the smoke testing on St. Simon's Island, and then we come out on the Mainland and got the final report back in February for our smoke testing we did here. You'll see some public and private problems from doing this. We inject an inert mist that comes out looking like smoke. It is not actually smoke. And anywhere that smoke exits our system is a way water can get in. Any way rainwater gets in is additional rainwater we have to pump and treat at our facility, so it increases our operating costs. So we want to keep as much of that out as we can. We have a public issue here on the left. A public issue is one on a JWSC asset that we're responsible for taking care of. That is a manhole in the grass there that has quite a lot of smoke coming out, so you have a tremendous potential for inflow of rainwater there. On the right, you have a private issue. That is a parking lot at a commercial facility. All that asphalt's non-permeable, and all that water is going to get somewhere, and we have a convenient hole where the clean-out cap has been removed or has come off, and then we're going to have to get that replaced. So they'll get a letter in the mail saying, please replace your clean-out cap. It's a very inexpensive fix, but it can keep a lot of water out of our system. So if you do get one of those letters and you have any questions, reach out to our folks, and we'll be happy to help you out. Here we have pictures of the State Route 99 project. State Route 99 water main extension project is to provide additional water service to the residential areas along Highway 99 and to the Georgia Pacific facility on Highway 99. This was a long-term project. This project actually got transferred while it was under engineering from Glynn County at the beginning of the JWSC. You can see a timestamp there from a picture of some of the pipe being installed in 2017. We're happy to say we finished that up in May, so that one is no longer on our books. That was the longest term project on the books, but that project come with its own set of challenges with some DOT issues as well as some utility conflicts once we got out there installing that pipe. However, you see on the right new hydrants and valves that were going in out there on Highway 99, the new grass that's coming up as we reseeded it. So certainly we've got a tremendous amount of available water out there now for residential customers. Here we got some photos of the Ridgewood water production facility. The Ridgewood facility is in the North Mainland in the Kate Road, Perry Lane Road area. The Ridgewood facility is currently what's known as a fire well. A fire well is a facility we can pump water from, but does not have full-time treatment capability. In the event that we had a fire that was a major water use, we could turn that well on and get additional water to fight the fire, but we don't have full-time treatment capacity there. We're installing the full-time treatment capacity, and you see a picture there of a ground storage tank that is being installed at that facility now. That ground storage tank will hold treated water until it is put into our system as what's known as a pre-stressed concrete tank. So you'll see a row of numbers running down the middle of that tank there, and that is the number of wire bands that get wrapped around that tank to provide pre-stressing to that so that you don't have any issues when it gets filled with water. That building there from existing will be converted into a new building with treatment capacity for the drinking water as it's coming out. We'll have aeration and chemical treatment there to provide additional drinking water capacity for the North Mainland area. Here we have some pictures of the CPOM CIPP projects. Glynn County intends to pave the areas in CPOMs this summer, so we're getting out in advance of them and lining some of our pipes. CIPP is what we call lining pipes, because you see on the right there, there's a sock that's pulled down through the manhole into the gravity sewer line, and that has a resin on it. And as it expands against the inside of the pipe, we fill it with hot water. That cures into a brand new pipe inside the existing pipe. You'll note that we don't have to dig the road up to do this because we're going through an existing manhole entry point. So that contractor's out there doing it on some of the old clay lines that we have in sea palms that needed some help. On the left, we have our new project manager, Jason Vo, who's helping shepherd all these projects through our system right now. He's helping directing traffic out there as they're pre-cleaning. That device behind him is a combination cleaner. They go out and clean the lines in advance of the lining crews getting out there just to make sure you have a consistent circular host pipe to form. These are some pre and post pictures of CIPP from the North Mainland Phase 2 project, the SPLOST project that we have. That is reinforced concrete pipe on the left, and you can see all those bumps in there. That is aggregate that is showing on that pipe. Imagine you had a concrete slab for a patio in your backyard and you had all these rocks that were sticking up out of there. Obviously, that's not what you want your concrete to look like. So over the years, that has eroded away. And also, you'll see some brown lines in there. That is the rebar that has been eroded in there. So we certainly don't have much structural integrity left to that pipe. Well, rather than trying to dig up this pipe, this is a 30-inch pipe. It's pretty deep. This is an expensive dig for us to do, and it's also very time-consuming. We come in with this trenchless technology, and there you see the inside of that pipe once it's completed. That is a brand new pipe that uses the hose pipe simply to provide shape. It does not provide any structure anymore because that pipe is structurally sound for at least 50 years moving forward. If you look at those pictures, there's an 88.8 in the top left of the one on the left, and there's an 89.2 in the center of the one on the right. So that's the exact same point in the pipe as you're looking before we do any work and after we do any work. Much quicker to do it this way, much less intrusive, and we don't have to delay traffic near as much to do it this way, and we get a brand new pipe out of it. We're talking about our budget for the FY21, which starts here July 1st. Our budget for the year will be $33.4 million, very close to what it was last year, and so we are not adjusting rates once again. This will be the second consecutive year we've been able to hold rates steady, so your bill will not be any different this year than it was last year unless your usage changes. We didn't adjust rates and our budget didn't change. However, we were able to increase our capital budget to $7.1 million. 3 or 4 years ago, that number was $3 to $3.5 million, so we've more than doubled that in the past few years, and that allows us to do a whole lot more projects than what we were doing. Capital budget is where we do projects. We get better bang for our buck doing projects because we can make targeted projects to replace assets in need. We're able to do that because we had some major expense decreases in our operating budget. We paid off some of our old debt, and that decreased our cost about $600,000 for the year. We've now started taking biosolids and self-performing, taking that to the landfill rather than having a third-party contractor involved. Through the first 10 months of the year, we've saved $350,000, and we project that to continue forward. And then the manhole rehab decrease of $250,000. We have a list of manholes that need to be rehabbed. We come in and spray a cementitious liner in there to provide structural integrity to the manhole and also prevent leaks from coming in. That manhole on the smoke testing project will be on this list. Previously, we were going out 2 or 3 manholes at a time as we found them and putting those out for contractors to bid on, and we were getting some higher pricing. So now we're lumping 50 or 60 together at one time and bidding them out as one contract, and that's brought that unit cost way down, and we're saving about $250,000 from doing that. And that'll be going out again here in the next couple of weeks for bid for the FY21 project. We have some exciting customer service news. At our town hall meetings last year, we had some customers that were voicing concerns about perceived difficulties in paying their bills. There were customers that wanted to have the ability to auto draft their bank account to pay their bills. Happy to say that we have that available for you now. If you want to auto draft out of your account each month for the amount that your bill is, we can get that set up for you if you reach us at customer service. You can also pay online, which you've been able to do for several years now, but we have waived that transaction fee. We've changed our processor, and we've been able to waive that $275 online processing fee, so now you just pay the amount that's due on your bill. We also now offer paperless billing options. If you do not want to get a bill in the mail, we will be happy to send one to your email account if you reach out to customer service, and you can start getting your bill via email next month. If you wish to start service with us at a new location, or you're moving into town and interested in getting our service, you can complete that process entirely online now. You go online and fill out the forms. Since we've waived the fees for paying online, you can pay your deposit and your account startup fees online as well. and you can have water service ready to go before you ever have to speak to us in person. We have customer service reps here that are available to assist you at any time, but you certainly can do everything online now. We also have changed our policy where you do not have to be present for us to turn the water service on at your residence now. Used to, we had to have someone there for us to turn that water on, but now we have a process where you can sign a waiver and we can have the water turned on before you get there, so that if you're moving into town, we can have the water turned on early that morning, so when you get there at lunchtime, it's ready to go. We talked about that $7.1 million capital budget, and that just kind of shows you the amount of projects we can do with that kind of money. Now, there's a few more projects on here because of SPLOST projects that are currently ongoing, but on the left, you see some green stars on the map. Those are active sewer projects or planned sewer projects for FY21. On the right, the blue stars are water projects that are either active or planned for FY21. You can see we're spread out across the entire county. We've got water and sewer projects on St. Simons, in the city district, and in the North Mainland district. So we're going after areas where we've got needs at, and we're going to take care of that and reinvest in our system. A couple of water projects I want to point out. We have the Arco area water and sewer extension. That is a residential neighborhood just north of the city limits that has never been provided with water and sewer service. With the residents out there come to us asking if we can provide them with water and sewer service, I'm happy to say that we're currently under engineering for that. So hopefully we'll be getting that project bid for construction right after the first of the year. The Community Road Sewer Extension is a commercial area on the mainland that for whatever reason never got sewer provided to it. They have septic tanks. They do have a water service, but they have septic tanks. Some of those customers have reached out wanting to get on our system, so we're currently under engineering for that as well. A couple of water projects to note. You'll see the initials PRV on there twice. PRV means pressure reducing valve. We are not going to reduce your water pressure. We're going to set up pressure zones in our system so we can maintain pressure better without the fluctuations you see from time to time, depending on when you have high usage in some areas. Down at the bottom of that water side, you'll see some countywide water projects of note. We have the meter replacement projects, which we'll go over shortly, and then the galvanized water main replacement project. That's a project we are self-installing with our water distribution crews, so you'll see them out there. Galvanized steel pipe is small diameter 2 and 3 inch water lines that are running in neighborhoods. Usually these are older neighborhoods, and these pipes have got a lot of corrosion in them, so they're restricting the flow. They also can leak, and all that does is reduce the pressure available to your house. So we're going to replace those lines throughout our system. We're going neighborhood by neighborhood and getting that taken care of. That'll help us reduce boil water advisories from these leaking pipes, but also allow us to provide better pressure to you at your meter. If you have a galvanized service from your meter to your house, you may want to invest in getting that replaced to reap the full benefits of that. But we'll get the word out when we're coming to your neighborhood if you have those galvanized water replacements. We talked about the meter replacements. We have about 30,000 water meters in our system that are aging and need replacement. Currently, we do what's called an automatic meter reading when we drive a truck by, and it picks up once a month as we drive by what your total consumption has been for that last month. You get a bill, and all you see on there is for the last 30 days, you've used 4,000 gallons of water. We're going to an advanced metering infrastructure system, or AMI, that is an entirely wireless structure. This is about a 4-year project for us that's fixing to get underway. So we'll do about 7,500 meters a year, but we can read your meter with the click of a button from any computer we have at any point you want to know your reading. And these meters will log that data every hour or even in smaller increments if you wish, where we can tell you when you're using water and how much you're using and during different periods if you have questions about your water usage. Another key feature we'll have here is a daily leak report. When these go in place, we'll get a leak report every morning from the system that will tell us every meter that has been running for the last 24 hours continuously. Now, there's some commercial entities that will use water 24 hours a day, so certainly we'll take those out of the list, but we'll call these customers and let them know you likely have a leak because your water has been running for 24 consecutive hours. So what that will do for us, it will allow us to let you know you have a leak so that you don't get the sticker shock in 30 days when you've used, instead of 4,000 gallons of water, you've used 30,000 gallons of water. Now, we do provide leak adjustments to the customers once they have it fixed, but certainly we can get you out there much quicker to get your leak fixed. You can use less water and waste less water, and it's better for us and for you to get that leak fixed as quickly as possible. So that's the end of our presentation tonight. We don't have anybody here with questions at our office, but we do have some people watching online. I'll ask Mr. Sellers, our Director of Administration, if there's any questions online.
We have 4 watching on Facebook and 2 watching on YouTube. No questions
All right, so no questions so far. We'll have written this presentation one more time tonight at 7:30, so if you want to come join us or watch us online and submit some questions, we'll be here. But thank you for your attendance tonight, and the staff at the JWSC is here to serve you. Good evening, everyone. I am Andrew Burrs. I am the Executive Director here at the Joint Water and Sewer Commission. This is our annual Town Hall meeting. We're doing this live tonight here at our offices at Gloucester Street. Please come join us if you would like. With the COVID restrictions, we're keeping these to shorter meetings and doing it multiple times, so this is the last presentation of this for the evening. You can contact us online through our info@bgjwsc.org email address or through our social media accounts and participate in the meeting if you have questions. We're required to have these annual town hall meetings to discuss our budget and rates for the next year, but anytime we get together, we want to update you on our ongoing construction projects and our ongoing customer service efforts. So on our construction project side, wanted to highlight 5 of them that are either recently finished or currently under construction. The Mainland smoke testing and the State Route 99 water main extension projects have recently wrapped up. The Ridgewood water production facility is a new drinking water facility going in the North Mainland area that's currently under construction. The Cipp CIPP project, CIPP is cured in place piping. That is a trenchless pipe rehab technology that is being utilized in the Cipp neighborhood. And the SPLOS North Mainland Phase 2 project is winding down, and we used CIPP rehab on that project, so we can show you some interesting results on that. The Mainland smoke testing project was wrapped up with the final report delivered in February. We did this on St. Simons about 18 months ago, but again, we did the Mainland and wrapped it up in February. We inject an inert mist into our system, and anywhere that mist that comes out looking like smoke escapes the system is a place that rainwater can get into our system. The rainwater should not be getting into our system, and what that does is it increases our cost of having to pump and treat that water. So you end up with both public and private issues when you smoke test. An example of a public issue is there on the left. That is a manhole, a JWSC-owned manhole, with quite a lot of smoke coming out of it, indicating there's quite a lot of water that can go into that when it rains. So that will be added to our manhole rehab list for the next year and taken care of. On the right, you have an example of a private issue. That is a commercial parking lot that's got a cleanout cap missing. That cleanout cap creates a hole in that non-permeable surface. As the rainwater flows across that, there's a hole for it to get down in our system. So in this case, that customer will receive a letter in the mail requesting they replace that cleanout cap. Cleanout caps are very inexpensive, and that can take a lot of water out of our system. So if you get one of those letters and you have some questions, feel free to reach out. We'll be happy to discuss it with you, but most of the time these required construction will be very short and cheap for you to do. Here we have some pictures of the State Route 99 project. This was the longest project we've had at JWSC, the oldest project that we've had. This project was actually under engineering when it was transferred from the county over to JWSC. You see some of the pipe under construction there on the left with a date stamp in the bottom right of 2017. You'll notice that it is now 2020, but we finally did finish that project in May. There's some new fire hydrants and water valves there on that picture on the right, and you see the grass coming in. We got that line installed. That's up on Highway 99 and provides water to the residential areas on Highway 99 and on Green Swamp Road, and also provides water to the Georgia Pacific facility up there as well. So that project, again, wrapped up in May, so that will fall off our list. And then we have the second oldest project on the list, which is the Ridgewood Water Production Facility project. This project's been budgeted for a while, but just got under construction. The left, you see what the existing Ridgewood site looked like before we started the project. That was a fire well for us. A fire well is a well that we have that does not have full-time treatment capacity. However, in the event of a fire, when you have a major water need, we could turn that well on and provide additional water to the system. However, not having full-time drinking water treatment capacity there, we wanted to convert that to improve our capacity in the North Mainland area. So we're installing a ground storage tank and treatment equipment at that facility. The ground storage tank you see there is a pre-stressed concrete tank. You'll see some red numbers running up the center there. That is the number of wires that are wrapped around that tank to pre-stress it before it is filled with water so you don't have any problems. That water is treated water that is being held until it is pumped out into the system. That building on the left will be torn down and a new one replaced there with the treatment capacity of aeration and chemical treatment so that we can provide you with high quality drinking water. So that's up there near Perry Lane Road and Kate Road. So if you go by there and see a lot of construction, that's what we've got going on there. That project will be wrapped up prior to the end of this calendar year. Here we have some pictures of the CIPP project. Remember, CIPP is cured in place piping. It is a trenchless technology where we insert a sock inside the pipe and fill it with water, hot water, and that presses that sock, which has resin impregnated in it, and that creates a new pipe inside the existing host pipe. It's an entirely structural pipe. It only uses the exterior pipe for shape. On the left there, you see our new project manager, Jason Vo, out there directing traffic in Sea Palms. Behind him, you see a combination cleaner. That truck actually comes through and jets the lines clean to get any debris loose, so that when we use this CIPP technology and it fills up, you don't end up with pockets where debris has been settled in the pipe and you end up with a nice circular pipe. So again, that goes in there. You see it's going into a manhole. We don't have to dig up the streets. It's quicker, it's less intrusive, and certainly a more cost-effective way for us to do this. Here's some results from the SPLOST North Mainland Phase 2 project. This is a 30-inch gravity sewer line on Whitlock. That is a reinforced concrete pipe. So you look at that concrete pipe and you'll notice there's aggregate showing. So think of a patio in your backyard that you had some concrete and the rocks were sticking out of it. Obviously, you would want to do something with that patio. Well, we have that pipe there that we obviously needed to do something with. We also have the brown streaks there, which are reinforcement that has been eroded away. So what we have there is a pipe that is ostensibly round, but doesn't have a lot of structure to it. So we come in with this CIPP technology there on the right. That is a post-inspection video after it is cured completely. You see a brand new pipe there, completely structural, uses the hose pipe just for shape, and we'll get at least 50 years of additional lifespan out of that pipe. You see there is an 88.8 on the top left of the picture and an 89.2 in the center of the right picture. So this is pretty much the exact same spot of that pipe before and after the CIPP lining work was done. So we did about 8,000 feet of pipe there on that project, already showing dividends downstream as we've seen a reduction of flow at the wastewater plant from less water getting into the system. Talking about our budget for next year, overall budget would be $33.4 million, which is essentially the same as it was this year. So we are not adjusting rates once again. This would be the second consecutive year we've maintained a consistent rate. So your bill will not change this year unless your usage changes. So we were able to do that. However, we didn't adjust rates, but we were able to increase our capital budget to $7.1 million. 3 to 4 years ago, our capital budget was $3 to $4 million. $7.1 million allows us to do a lot more projects, and you'll see in a minute the projects we have planned. We can reinvest in our system and start being proactive instead of reactive by getting out in front of these things, and having a nice capital budget allows us to do that. We were able to do that because we had some significant decreases in our expense line items operationally. We paid off some of our debt, and that decreased our expenses by almost $600,000. Our biosolids that are leaving our wastewater treatment facilities, previously we were paying a third-party hauler to take those to the landfill for us. We purchased the equipment to haul it ourselves, and so far for the first 10 months of fiscal year 20, we've saved $350,000 by doing that, and that should project forward into the future years. Manhole Rehab, our cost for that is decreased by $250,000. That manhole that we saw on the smoke test that's got to be rehabbed, we'll spray a cementitious liner in there to keep any water out and provide some structure to that manhole. We were going out 2 or 3 at a time for those manholes and paying a higher price because the contractor was having to start and stop a lot. We've started compiling that and planned the project out better with a larger scope that's more condensed in certain areas, and so we're doing 50 or 60 at a time. And by doing that, we get a much lower unit cost, and so we're saving about $250,000 by doing that. We're going out for another one of those in the very near future so that we can get kick-started on that project right after the start of the fiscal year. In customer service, we have some exciting things to offer. At last year's meeting, we had some spirited discussion about the difficulties that customers perceived in trying to pay us. Some customers wanted to be able to auto-draft their account, so now we can do that. You can call us and we can set you up on automatic bill pay, so every month the exact amount of your bill will be drafted out of your account. You never have to worry about it if you so choose. We've offered online payments for several years now. There used to be a $2.75 charge for paying online, processing that. That has been waived. We changed our processors and we were able to do that. So now when you go on and pay online, you do not get charged a fee. You pay the exact amount on your bill each month. We offer paperless billing now. If you don't want to get a bill in the mail each month and you'd rather have that sent to you via email, we can get that started for you as quick as your next bill if you'll reach out to customer service. We have online applications now for new water services. Previously, you had to come down here, fill out an application, bring a check to start your account. Now we can do that process entirely online. You fill out the form online, you pay through our online payment portal. There's no fees charged for the transaction. You just have to pay your deposit and the account startup fees, and you'll be good to go. And we don't have to have anyone present for us to turn the water service on at a house now when somebody's moving in. Previously, we requested somebody being there. Now you can sign a waiver for us to go out there and turn that water on so that when you get to your house, your new place, there's water service there that's ready to go. Basically, with all of these changes, you only have to come speak to us when you want to. We certainly have 5 customer service representatives here at all times ready to assist you, but if you don't want to talk to us in person, you can do everything online now. Now let's talk about our projects, that $7.1 million capital budget that we have. On the left, you'll see a bunch of green stars. Those are either active sewer or projects that are planned for fiscal year 21 sewer projects. On the right, the blue stars are water projects. You'll see that these are spread out across the entire county. You've got water and sewer projects on the island, in the city, and the North Mainland areas. So we got quite a lot of projects. This is the amount of projects we can do with that $7.1 million capital budget. A little bit additional projects here because of the ongoing SPLOST projects on the sewer side. But I want to point out a couple of projects on the sewer here. You'll see the projects, the Arco area water and sewer extension project is a residential neighborhood just north of the city limits that never got provided water and sewer service. So those folks are on private wells and septic systems. They've asked for us to provide the utility water and sewer service to them, and I'm happy to say that is under engineering now. Hopefully we'll be going out right after the first of the year for construction on that project. The Community Road Sewer Extension Project is a commercial district on the mainland that for whatever reason never got sewer service provided. They have water service, but they're on septic tanks, and a lot of those customers don't want to be on septic tanks anymore. So we're under engineering for that as well, going out after the new year for that, for construction to get those customers on our system. On the water side, a couple of projects to point out. You'll see the initials PRV down there. PRV are pressure reducing valves. Nobody wants their water pressure reduced. However, these valves don't actually reduce your water pressure. What they do is allow us to set up different pressure zones in our system so that the wells in particular areas will only have to provide the pressure for those areas instead of having to try to distribute that pressure across the entire network. So we're installing those on St. Simons and in the North Mainland. You will not see a decrease in water pressure by the installation of these valves. You will probably see an increase in water pressure after these valves are installed. Down there at the bottom, you'll see some countywide water projects to note. The meter replacement project we'll talk about in just a minute, and the galvanized water main replacement project. We have a lot of old galvanized steel water lines, small 2 and 3 inch water lines. The galvanized steel corrodes over time and it restricts the water flow through it. It's also very brittle. You get anywhere near it with a shovel, you're going to start breaking it. You have leaks. And all that does is reduce the water pressure to the customer. And it also wastes water as it's leaking out. So we're going through and proactively going through neighborhoods, taking this galvanized water pipe out and replacing it with new plastic pipe. And that's going to do 2 things for you. You're going to get better pressure at your meter, and you're also going to have less boil water advisories as these lines won't break near as often when they're the new updated pipe. However, if you do have a galvanized service into your house past your meter, you may want to consider replacing that to get the full benefit of the new replacement lines that are going in. We're self-performing these, so you'll see our water distribution crews out there. We're going through a neighborhood on the island right now doing it, and we intend to move to several more this year throughout the next 12 months of the fiscal year. Talk about our meters. Currently, we do what's called automatic meter reading. You see the truck there? We come by once a month. We get a reading for how much water you've consumed for the last 30 days or so. And you get a bill, and that's what we have for you. You know what you had for 30 days, no data really of what happened in those 30 days. We're going to an advanced metering infrastructure, or AMI system, that is an entirely wireless metering system. We can read your meter with a click of a button from any computer that we have. We can get you readings down to the usage per hour or even smaller if you need that. There'll be a customer portal where you can sign in and find this information just like you can with Georgia Power right now. So you'll have real-time access to what your usage is instead of getting that snapshot every 30 days. But another real benefit of this is you'll have the ability, we'll get a leak report each day of which meters have had water moving continuously through them for 24 hours. There's some commercial enterprises that use water 24 hours a day, but a residential customer should never use water 24 hours in a row. So we'll get a report of that continuous water usage and be able to proactively call you that next morning and say, it appears you have a leak, you may want to go out and check that, so that you don't get a bill in 30 days where you went from 4,000 gallons of use a month to 30,000 gallons of water use a month. It wastes less water. You don't get the sticker shock of that bill. And even after the leak adjustment, you still have a sizable bill you have to pay us. That will go away if we're proactive when doing that. So with that, I'm going to end my presentation. We don't have anybody here at our audience that has questions for us, but we do have people watching us online through Facebook or YouTube. And I'll ask Mr. Jay Sellers, our Director of Administration, if there's any questions. No questions at the moment. This is the last presentation we're doing this evening. Anybody that has hung with us through this process, we thank you for your attendance, and certainly we'll be doing these again next year, hopefully with the same good news or even better as we move forward. Anytime we have anything that we can help you out with, feel free to stop by. Our staff is here ready to serve you every day.